For the last decade, my entire focus has been on one question. Why do some men with immense potential remain stuck, while others, with seemingly less, build empires? I've dissected the lives of historical titans. I've analyzed thousands of cases of failure and breakthrough, and I found a hidden pattern. I discovered a secret that operates like gravity, silently determining the trajectory of our lives. The secret is this: the world does not give you what you want. It gives you who you are. The reason for your struggle, that feeling of hitting an invisible wall despite all your efforts, is not a lack of discipline or a lack of knowledge. It is the direct result of ignoring this fundamental law. You have been trying to build a new life on top of an old identity. What if I told you that your bank account, your relationships, and your opportunities are nothing more than a delayed reflection of your own self-concept? What if the entire war could be won not on the outside, but on the inside, by installing a new identity so powerful that reality has no choice but to conform to it? In this transmission, you will learn the code taught the titans of industry. How to live from the end, how to operate as if you have already won, long before the world gives you proof. This is not entertainment. We are here to remind you who you were born to be, and to install the invisible laws that command wealth, power, and fulfillment. This is the truth that changes everything. If you are ready to wield it, subscribe. And join the men who are recoding their destiny. You've been told a lie, a dangerous lie that has been keeping you in a state of suspended animation, always waiting. The lie is that you need external proof before you can feel internally powerful, that you need the money in the bank before you can feel the certainty of a successful man. This lie is the source of your frustration, the invisible chain that holds you back. It's the reason you can work with the discipline of a soldier yet see the results of a coward. You follow the rules, you put in the hours, you make the sacrifices, but inside there is a quiet, gnawing feeling that you're just pretending, that you're an imposter waiting to be found out. This feeling is not a truth. It is a program. It is a virus. This is not your fault. It's a flaw in the collective conditioning of men. But recognizing the program is the first step to destroying it. The truth is that your results are not created by your actions. Your results are a direct, unavoidable reflection of the identity you have assumed. You are getting exactly who you believe you are. So we are going to burn that old identity to the ground. Right now, the man who waits for permission is gone. The man who needs proof is a ghost. From this moment, you operate from a new law, a law the titans understood in their bones. The inner world of assumption creates the outer world of fact, period. This is not a mindset hack. This is a fundamental law of reality. Your self-concept is a command that the universe has no choice but to obey. You have been giving the wrong orders by allowing your circumstances to dictate your identity. Today, that ends. You take back control. The world you see is a mirror. It has been reflecting the man who feels he isn't enough, who secretly doubts he deserves it. But a mirror can only reflect what is put in front of it. We are not going to ask the mirror to change. We are going to change the man standing before it. You are not here to learn. You are here to install, to overwrite the weak code with a code of power, to replace the identity of the waiter with the identity of the creator. This is the foundation upon which your new empire will be built. You must feel it first. Your feelings are not random. They are the language that speaks to the subconscious mind. By choosing to feel the certainty of your success now, before it appears, you are planting the only seed that can grow into the reality you desire. Every other method is a waste of your precious time and energy. You are the commander of your mind. Your new mission is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You will walk, talk, and breathe as the man you intend to become. This is the silent law. And from today, it is your greatest weapon. Let's be perfectly clear about why we are here. This is not a place for passive consumption. This is not another channel you watch for a temporary hit of motivation that fades by morning. This is an armory. This is a training ground. This is where you come to be forged into the man you were always meant to be. We don't deal in entertainment or feel-good platitudes. We deal in codes. We deal in the fundamental laws of mind and reality that govern a man's destiny. Our single purpose is to take these laws, these timeless principles of power, and install them directly into your operating system. So you don't just know them, you become them. You are here because a part of you knows you were made for more. You feel it in your bones, a deep and sacred dissatisfaction with the man you have been. That dissatisfaction is a holy signal. It is the call of your future self, the commander who is tired of watching you play small and live in the shadow of your potential. Our contract with you is simple. We will provide the weapons, we will reveal the strategies, we will give you the codes that have built empires and forged unbreakable men from the dawn of time. We will show you how to turn pain into power, fear into fuel, and doubt into a decision. But your side of the contract is non-negotiable. You must show up, you must do the work, you must take these codes and hammer them into your identity through repetition and ruthless application. We are your allies in this war, but you are the soldier on the front lines. Your victory is your responsibility. This is a place of remembrance. We are here to remind you of the power you were born with, the power that has been buried under layers of social conditioning, self-doubt, and fear. Every video, every word is designed to strip away those layers and reveal the unshakable core of who you truly are. You are a creator, not a victim. You are a commander, not a reactor. Your life is not something that happens to you. It is something that you command into existence from the fortress of your own mind. That is the truth we serve. So when you engage with this material, understand you are engaging in an act of self-creation. You are stepping onto the forge. You are consciously choosing to dismantle the old you to make way for the new. It will be uncomfortable. It will challenge you, and it will transform you. Welcome to the reconstruction. The work begins now. I have seen brilliant men fail, men with more talent, more intelligence, and more education than you can imagine. And I have watched them get crushed by life. They had everything on the outside, but they were rotting from the inside. They were infected with a virus, the virus of a poor self-concept. They thought like employees even when they owned the business. They felt like imposters even when they were the most qualified man in the room. They walked with the energy of someone who was waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the world to finally discover that they were a fraud, and the world always obliged them. This is the paradox that traps so many good, hard-working men. You believe that your actions should produce your results, but your actions are filtered through the lens of your identity. If you act like a king but feel like a pauper, the world will not hear your words. It will feel your vibration and deliver. A pauper's reality. Napoleon Hill stated it with absolute precision. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Men are obsessed with the conceiving part, the dreaming, the planning, the visualizing, but they forget the most crucial component, the believing, the unwavering, bone-deep conviction that it is already yours. Belief is not hope. Hope is a beggar's plea. Belief is a commander's declaration. It is the feeling of certainty that you install in yourself long before the evidence arrives. Without this core of belief, your affirmations are empty words. Your vision boards are just pictures. Your discipline is just motion without power. You have likely experienced this. You repeat, "I am wealthy," while your entire being vibrates with the feeling of lack. You say, "I am confident," while your posture screams insecurity. Your subconscious mind is not listening to your words. It is obeying the deep, silent assumption that is running the show. This is why brilliant men fail. They are at war with themselves. Their conscious mind wants one thing, but their subconscious identity, their core belief about who they are and what they deserve, wants another. And in that internal war, the subconscious always wins. It is the law. The solution is not to try harder. The solution is to become someone new. It's to stop focusing on the doing and to focus obsessively on the being. Who must you become for your desired reality to be a natural consequence? That is the only question that matters. You must install a new identity. An identity so solid, so real to you, that your external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match. This is the work. This is the entire game. Everything else is a distraction. You have been programmed to see the world backwards. You look at your bank account and it dictates your feeling of abundance. You look at your relationships and they dictate your feeling of being worthy. You look for external signs to give you permission to feel good on the inside. This is a slave's mentality. Your external world is not the cause, it is the consequence. It is a lagging indicator, an echo in the physical realm of a conversation you have already had with yourself in the cathedral of your own mind. Everything you see, every dollar, every opportunity, every obstacle is the shadow cast by your own consciousness. When Napoleon Hill interviewed over 500 of the world's most successful men, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford, he uncovered this invisible thread that connected them all. Their wealth did not make them feel successful. Their deep, pre-existing feeling of success and certainty is what commanded their wealth into existence. They operated from the end. They did not wait for the world to call them a titan of industry. They assumed the identity of a titan first, and their actions, thoughts, and energy all flowed from that assumption. The world then simply organized itself around that powerful, unshakable identity. It had no choice. This is where almost every man gets it wrong. You wait to get the win before you feel like a winner. You wait to be chosen before you feel worthy. You wait for the money to arrive before you feel abundant. But you are asking the mirror to smile first. It cannot. The universe is a mirror. It can only reflect the face you are making now. Do you want to change your world? Then you must stop looking at it. You must turn your attention away from the reflection and focus with ruthless intensity on the source, your state of being. Who are you being when you look at your empty bank account? Are you being a man who is poor, or a man who is simply in the process of building wealth? The feeling comes first. The identity precedes the evidence. This is the greatest secret of creation. You do not attract what you want. You attract who you are being. Your life is a perfect printout of your most dominant habitual internal state. So the work is not out there. It is not in the hustle, the grind, or the networking. That is all secondary. The real work, the primary work, is done in the silence of your own mind. It is the conscious, deliberate act of choosing and embodying the state of your wish fulfilled. From this day forward, you no longer react to your reality. You create it. You decide the state you will live from, the state of power, of certainty, of abundance, and you hold to that state. You remain loyal to that state, and you watch as the world bends and conforms to your command. You must act as if you are already the man you wish to be, not tomorrow, not when you get the promotion, not when the money comes in. Now, this very moment. This is not about being arrogant or delusional. This is about understanding the mechanics of creation. Your assumption persisted in hardens into fact. Imagine a man who desires to be a leader, but he thinks like a follower, speaks with the hesitation of a subordinate, and carries himself with the energy of someone waiting for orders. What does the universe hear? It hears that this man has already decided he is a follower, and his entire environment will conspire to confirm that identity. Life does not give you what you want with your words. It gives you what you have already claimed with your identity. Your assumed state of being is a powerful broadcast, a frequency that organizes the quantum field around you. You are constantly telling the world who you are, not with your mouth, but with your feeling, with your posture, with your internal state. When Napoleon Hill spoke of a definiteness of purpose, he wasn't just talking about having a clear goal. He was talking about living with a defined consciousness. It is the act of moving, thinking, and feeling from the perspective of the man who has already achieved what you seek. You are living from the end. I will say this to you without any filter. If you are waiting to have in order to be, you will remain trapped in a perpetual state of lack. You will always be one step behind, chasing a reality that flees from you, because your waiting is a powerful statement of not having. But if you choose today to be the man, to be confident, to be certain, to be abundant, then the having will arrive as a natural, effortless consequence. It must. It is the law. The external is always a servant to the internal. This is what Hill called the power of auto-suggestion. It is not the mindless repetition of empty phrases. It is the act of surgically implanting a new idea of yourself into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. You do this until your body, your language, your voice, and your very spirit begin to speak this new language of power. This is why the real change begins with assumption, not action. Acting as if is not lying to yourself. It is revealing yourself. It is remembering the version of you that already exists in the quantum field, the version of you that is not waiting for permission or for proof, the version of you that knows he is chosen because he chose himself. This is how the greats did it. Henry Ford acted like a leader long before anyone recognized him as one. Andrew Carnegie assumed the consciousness of a magnet when he was still a telegraph boy. They were not waiting for the world to anoint them. They anointed themselves. The question is, will you anoint yourself? Or will you keep waiting for a permission that will never come? Autosuggestion is the tool you will use to engineer your new identity. But you must understand what it truly is, because its common interpretation is dangerously flawed. It is not about lying to yourself with pretty words. It is the art of feeding your subconscious mind a new feeling until it accepts it as truth. The subconscious is the builder. It is the part of you that controls your heartbeat, your habits, your automatic reactions, and the vibration you emit to the world. It is pure, non-judgmental power. It does not argue or question. It only accepts what is given to it with feeling and repetition, and then it works tirelessly to manifest that instruction in your reality. This is why your affirmations have failed you. You say, "I am successful," but you say it from a state of anxiety and doubt. You feel the lack, the desperation. Your subconscious mind ignores the words and obeys the feeling. It hears the vibration of "I am not successful" and proceeds to create more circumstances that match that feeling. The secret is to bypass the critical, analytical mind and speak directly to the subconscious in its native language, the language of feeling. You must generate the emotion of the reality you desire. You must feel what it would feel like to be that man right now. This is not a mental exercise. It is an emotional and visceral one. Close your eyes. How does the man who has already achieved your goal walk? How does he breathe? What is the feeling in his chest? It is not arrogance. It is a quiet, calm, unshakable certainty. It is a deep knowing. Now, let's install this code. This is not a concept you learn. This is who you become. Declare it now, with the conviction of a man who has already won. Repeat this, in your mind or out loud, feeling the power in your own voice. I am the architect of my soul. I build my reality from the inside out. My feeling is the law, and my dominant feeling is certainty. Napoleon Hill discovered that the most powerful figures in history used this principle, consciously or unconsciously. They held the feeling of their vision as a present fact. Thomas Edison didn't hope his light bulb would work. In his mind, it already did, and his 10,000 failures were just the process of reality catching up to his internal vision. Your task is to generate this feeling of certainty on command. You must become a master of your internal state. You must learn to feel wealthy while your bank account is empty. You must learn to feel powerful when the world calls you weak. This is the ultimate discipline. This is the alchemy that turns thought into reality. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Forget the empty words. Master the feeling. When you master your internal state, you master your destiny. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Let that sink in. It is the most powerful and liberating truth you will ever grasp. It accepts as truth whatever you feel to be true. The reality you experience is not starting out there. It is starting inside of you. The majority of men live their lives in a reactive mode. They are thermometers, not thermostats. They look at their circumstances, and those circumstances dictate their emotional state. Empty bank account, they feel poor. No new opportunities, they feel stuck. A setback, they feel like a failure. This is not creation. This is repetition. You are simply reacting to a reality that was created by your past thoughts and feelings. You are living in a feedback loop of your own making, reinforcing the same limitations day after day. To break this cycle, you must stop being the effect and become the cause. You must stop reacting and start declaring. What do the men who truly transform their lives do? They decide first how they are going to feel. They make their internal state a declaration, not a reaction. They say, "Today I feel abundant, not because my wallet is full, but because I have planted the seed of abundance in the garden of my mind." Their state is the cause. The world is the effect. Hill called this emotionalized autosuggestion. It is not enough to say it. You must feel it in your cells. Your subconscious mind is like the earth. It does not care what seed you plant, a seed of fear or a seed of faith. It will simply receive it, cultivate it, and deliver the fruit of its kind. So, look inside yourself right now with brutal honesty. What seeds are you planting today? Are you watering the weeds of fear, doubt, and lack? Or are you planting a clear, powerful image of the man you have decided to be, even if no one else can see him yet? When you assume that new image, when you breathe it, when you defend it against the doubts of your old self, reality is forced to align with it. The universe does not respond to what you ask for with your mouth. It responds to your frequency, and your frequency is not your words. It is your state of being. Many men talk about success while vibrating with the energy of failure. They ask for confidence while acting out of fear. They say, I am worthy, but deep down, their state whispers, I don't deserve this. And their world confirms their whisper, not their shout, not as a punishment, but as a perfect mirror. The Titans Hill studied were not rich and then became confident. They were confident and then they became rich. The state preceded the reality. So the true question is not what do I want to achieve? The true question is from what state do I choose to live? Because when you decide your state, you have already begun to command your destiny. Now you know that your world will not change until your state of being changes. But the critical question is, how precisely do you assume a new identity? How do you make a new state of being your default? Your home? Napoleon Hill dedicated his life to this question, and the answer is profound in its simplicity. You become what you think about repeatedly. Whatever you hold in your mind with emotion, that is what you will manifest. Therefore, the first step is not to act differently. The first step is to feel differently, and for this you need two primary tools: focused autosuggestion and emotionalized repetition. We are going to make you a master of both. Autosuggestion is the conscious act of implanting a desired image of yourself into your subconscious mind until it is accepted as your new reality. But here is the secret that most miss. It's not about the words. It is about generating the feeling that the words describe until your entire body believes the new story. You can say I am successful 1,000 times, but if you do it from a place of neediness or anxiety, your mind rejects it. It knows you are lying, but if you close your eyes, breathe deeply, and vividly imagine yourself walking with certainty, speaking with clarity, and acting with command, that state begins to install itself in you. Napoleon Hill gave a precise command for this. Do it in the morning upon waking and at night just before sleep. In these moments, the veil between the conscious and subconscious mind is at its thinnest. Your mind is open, receptive, and programmable. This is the sacred time for your work. Imagine every night before you close your eyes, instead of replaying your mistakes and worries, you mentally rehearse your vision as already fulfilled. You feel the satisfaction, the pride, the certainty. Your subconscious will then work on that blueprint while you sleep. It will rewire your neurology to match that new reality. You will wake up different, you will move differently, and the world will begin to respond to you differently. The second tool is emotionalized repetition. It is not enough to do this once or only when you feel good. You must do it when you doubt. You must do it when it feels like a lie. You must do it when nothing seems to be changing. That persistence is the hammer that forges your new self. You are creating a new identity, not on the outside for others to see, but on the inside, in the core of your being. And everything external, every result, every opportunity will inevitably follow that new image. It is the law. So ask yourself now, who do I decide to be starting today? What emotions will I cultivate as my home, even before I see the results? Because that decision, repeated with intention and feeling, is the alchemical process that turns a mere possibility into your undeniable reality. There is a silent error, a subtle mistake that millions of good, disciplined men make every single day. It seems harmless, but it is the primary saboteur of their dreams. The error is this: they wait to see results before they allow themselves to believe. They are waiting for the evidence before they grant themselves the feeling. They wait for the money to hit the bank to feel prosperous. They wait for the promotion to be announced to feel successful. They wait for someone else to choose them to feel valuable. But this waiting, I will tell you without apology, is a trap. It is a declaration of lack. It is a command for more waiting. Napoleon Hill was crystal clear on this point. Belief in oneself is the starting point of all riches. He did not say seeing is believing. The code is believing is seeing. If you live your life waiting for proof, your mind is broadcasting a powerful message. I do not have it yet. That silent declaration is an order to your subconscious mind. And what does the subconscious do? It obeys flawlessly. It keeps everything you desire just out of reach, honoring your deep-seated belief that it isn't here yet. It's like telling the universe, give me the prize first, and then I promise I will believe I'm a winner. The mechanics of creation do not work that way. They work in reverse. You believe you are a winner first, with no external evidence, and then the universe responds, your command is my wish, and orchestrates the circumstances of your victory. You decide your emotional state now without proof, and then the proof arrives. Your faith, as Hill taught, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. If your faith is tied to what your five senses can perceive, you will never grow beyond your current circumstances. You will be a prisoner of the reflection in the mirror. The world does not change because you want it to. It changes because you have decided to feel different, to be different, even when nothing in your reality supports that decision. That is where your true power lies. It is in the ability to not need the mirror to smile first. You smile at it. With the calm certainty of a man who knows the reflection must and will eventually smile back. This is the greatest mistake made by good men with big dreams. They want the visible results before they adopt the invisible identity. But the identity always comes first. It is the cause. The results are the effect. It can be no other way. So I ask you, with total honesty, are you willing to live as if it is already yours, even when no one else sees it? Are you willing to walk with the posture of a king when your pockets are empty? Or will you continue to wait for the world to confirm something that you have not yet decided to believe about yourself? An assumption, even if it is false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. This was the core of Napoleon Hill's teaching, and it was the lived reality of every great man who transformed his destiny. They made a simple decision. They would not retreat from their new identity, because every man who walks this path will face the same trial. It is inevitable. You have made the decision. You have begun to feel abundant, to move like a man who has already succeeded. But the bank account remains the same. The circumstances have not yet caught up, and at this exact moment the mind begins to doubt. Hill called this the silent test. It is not a battle against the world. It is a battle against your old assumptions. It's the old you, the weak and frightened version, trying to reclaim his throne in that critical moment when the new identity meets the friction of the old reality. Most men surrender. They say, this isn't working, and they revert to their old self, just as the new self was about to materialize. But do you know what the men who actually change their lives do? They persist. They persist in their vision. They persist in their emotion. They persist in their chosen state of being, even when the entire world is screaming that they are a fool. This is the point where boys break and men are forged. Hill said that faith is not something you have. It is something you sustain. It is the conscious, moment-to-moment decision to remain loyal to the unseen reality within you, even when the visible world appears to contradict it. It is an act of supreme mental and spiritual discipline. Imagine a sculptor standing before a raw block of marble. The first 100 blows of the chisel seem to do nothing. It still looks like a formless rock. A lesser man would give up, but the master sculptor persists with patience, with faith, knowing that the figure is inside. He just has to remove the excess stone. Your mind works the same way. Every day that you persist in your new identity, every time you choose your vision over your circumstances, you are chipping away at the old you and revealing the masterpiece within. Do not expect applause at the beginning. Do not demand immediate proof. This is not magic. It is law, and all law requires time and pressure to operate. It does not matter if you have doubts. What matters is if you live from them. You can feel the fear, you can feel the resistance, but you do not give it your identity. You return again and again and again to the state of your wish fulfilled, because the more you persist, the more real that version of you becomes, not by intensity, but by consistency. And then one day, without warning, the world will reflect back to you what you have been seeding for so long. And in that moment, you will understand that true faith does not shout, it whispers. And the man who persists in that whisper will eventually hear the thunderous echo of his dreams fulfilled. Observe your world, look around you, your financial situation, your relationships, your opportunities, your obstacles, all of it. Everything you see is not a cause, it is a reflection. The world you inhabit is a direct, flawless mirror of your state of consciousness. What you are experiencing today is not the result of what you did yesterday. It is the result of what you assumed to be true yesterday. It is the physical manifestation of your dominant beliefs and feelings. This is the law that underpins all others. Most people try to change their reality from the outside. They change jobs, they change partners, they change cities, but they do not change their identity. They do not change the silent assumptions they hold about themselves, and so their reality repeats itself. The scenery changes, but the story remains the same. It does not matter how many times you rearrange the furniture in a room if you do not change the man who lives in it. If you do not redesign your mind, everything else will eventually revert to reflect your old programming. The world is a feedback mechanism of startling precision. Hill called this the law of the mind dominated by faith, whatever you believe with. Feeling and conviction becomes your objective reality. People think they live in an objective world, but they live in an interpreted world. Two men can face the exact same setback. One feels it as a fatal blow, the other as a powerful lesson. Why? Because each man is projecting his own internal concept onto the situation. One assumes he is destined to fail, and he finds evidence everywhere. The other assumes he is being forged into something stronger, and he finds evidence for that. The circumstance is neutral. The interpretation creates the reality. It's like walking through a city wearing colored glasses. It doesn't matter if the buildings are white. If your lenses are blue, you will see a blue city. Your lenses are your consciousness, your core assumptions, and if you do not consciously change them, your entire world will be filtered through that invisible programming. The question is never, what is happening out there? The true, powerful question is, what am I projecting from in here? If you assume that opportunity is scarce, life will show you scarcity. If you assume that you are not worthy of respect, people will disrespect you. If you assume you cannot win, the universe will honor your decision. But if you dare to assume that you are valuable, that you are capable, that you are destined for greatness, then your world begins to remold itself around that new, powerful assumption. The power is not in what you do first. The power is in what you decide to be. And then everything falls into place. There is one thing that all truly successful men share, and it is not their money or their knowledge. It is their energy. It is the undeniable presence they bring into a room. Napoleon Hill repeated this relentlessly. The attitude with which you do something is more important than the thing you do. Your attitude is the language of your identity. The world listens to your tone of voice, your posture, the way you walk, your silences, your pauses, long before it hears your words. So let me ask you, how does a man who knows he is valuable walk? How does a man who already feels wealthy breathe? How does a man who no longer needs to prove his worth respond to a challenge? Elevating your standard of being does not mean showing off. It is not about faking confidence. It is about acting with the quiet, unshakable dignity of a man who already knows his value. It is an internal state that radiates outward as a calm power. Hill saw this in Carnegie, in Edison, in Ford. They all possessed an unbreakable self-concept, even before the world acknowledged their success. They acted from a solid, defined identity. And what did that identity do? It attracted the right people, the right ideas, and the right circumstances, because life does not respond to your needs. It responds to your energy. The majority of men live from a state of fear and lack. They speak with hesitation. They walk with a hurriedness that screams, "I'm not in control." They shrink in the presence of others. But the man who already feels abundant walks with a calm purpose. He speaks with intention. He holds his ground. He is not chasing anything. He is allowing everything to come to him. Elevating your standard of being is asking yourself every single day, how would the version of me who has already achieved my goals behave in this situation? And then living from that energy, not as a performance, but as a silent, powerful affirmation of your new identity. This is a command for your new self. You must embody it. Stop now, take a deep breath, and feel the shift. Then declare this truth, so your own ears can hear it and your subconscious can obey it. My presence is my power. I command respect through my being, not my words. I am the source of my reality. My energy dictates my results. Hill taught that your subconscious interprets your actions as instructions. So when you speak with clarity, when you decide with firmness, when you act with intention, your mind and your environment assume that this is your new normal. And when this becomes your new normal, your world transforms to match it. Every great change begins with a new story. Not the story you tell others, but the story you repeat to yourself in the silence of the night when no one else is listening. Napoleon Hill discovered that this inner dialogue is the silent architect of your reality. You are the sum of your dominant thoughts, not the ones you think once, but the ones you rehearse day after day. Therefore, the most powerful habit you can possibly cultivate is the habit of consciously rewriting your internal script, and the most sacred time to do this is in the moments just before you fall asleep. This is the ritual of the nightly review, and it will become your primary tool for self-transformation. Do not go to sleep with the weight of the day's failures, doubts, or fears. Do not allow your mind to marinate in chaos as it enters its most suggestible state. Instead, close your eyes and ask yourself, who was I today? Did I behave as the man I am becoming? Where can I elevate my standard of being tomorrow? Then you will revise the day. You will mentally replay it as you wished it had happened. You will see yourself speaking with clarity, deciding with firmness, moving with certainty. You will relive the day from the perspective of your success. Feel the emotions of that ideal performance, the confidence, the command, the satisfaction. Allow that image, that feeling of your victorious self, to be the last thing that enters your subconscious mind before you drift off to sleep. Why? Because while your conscious mind sleeps, your subconscious does not. It takes the last emotion you gave it and works on it all night long. It records, repeats, and strengthens that instruction, if that final emotion was one of confidence, vision, and success. Then your entire nervous system will begin to rewire itself in that direction while you sleep. This is the simplest and most profound way to become someone new. You don't need complicated rituals. You only need to repeat the feeling of your new identity until your body recognizes it as home. In the end, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are willing to feel as true. You attract what you embody. So rewrite your script every single night, not as an act of denial or wishful thinking, but as an act of deliberate creation. Because if you do not rewrite your own mind, the world will gladly do it for you. And believe me, the story the world wants to give you looks nothing like the destiny you were born to command. If something inside you awakened during this transmission, if a part of you remembered that you were created for something far greater than your current reality, do not ignore that feeling. Respond to it, because now you know the truth. You are not waiting for results. You are embodying the cause. Your identity is the seed. Your emotion is the water. And your persistence is the sunlight that turns the invisible blueprint into a visible empire. Napoleon Hill said it with chilling clarity. Nothing can stop a man who has convinced himself of who he is. So when you leave this video, walk as if you have already won. Speak as if you know it is already done. Decide as if life is already conspiring in your favor. Because this is not about pretending. It is about remembering. Remember who you already are in the unseen, and live from that place, without apology and without asking for permission. This is your training. This is your reprogramming. Subscribe to this channel, not for us, but for you. Do it as a declaration that you are committed to this work, to becoming the man who is no longer waiting, but who already is. Your old identity dies today. Go to the comments and write, I am the commander. Let it be your public declaration. Your contract with yourself. You know another man who is fighting this same war, who is trapped by the same lie. Send him this transmission. Recruiting another soldier to this cause is an act of leadership. Now go and apply this code, knowing it changes nothing. Using it changes everything.